Shut your eyes for a second and imagine that a real angel has just materialized in the center of your living room. What would you do? You would probably think you would smile, that you would feel an immense wave of comforting warmth, and that a soft peace would embrace your heart. But secular history, ancient scriptures, and the sharpest minds in theology assure us that your very first physical reaction would be to fall face down on the floor, with your heart racing and your spine paralyzed by the most absolute, cold, and indescribable terror. The urgent question we must ask is, why have we been systematically deceived about the true nature and terrifying power of these celestial beings? If you have the audacity to abandon modern fairy tales, discard sentimental illusions, and face the brutal and majestic reality of actual spiritual warfare, subscribe to this channel right now and confirm your like. Your attitude is what allows heavy truths like this to reach those who need to wake up. Ready to shatter your paradigms? Let's move forward. We are the most drowned generation in cheap sentimentality in all of human history. We have transformed one of the most lethal, complex, and formidable forces in the entire created universe into Renaissance paintings of chubby, harmless, shining babies with little bird wings, merely serving to embellish Christmas greeting cards. We have been victims, as an experienced exorcist priest points out, of terrible theological art, and even worse, spiritual education. But when we set aside superficiality and return to the masterful texts of St. Thomas Aquinas, the angelic doctor, the image changes in a terrifying way. Angels are not fluffy clouds of psychological comfort. They are pure intellects. They are immaterial substances not bound by the laws of our physics, endowed with a power to manipulate matter, an overwhelming intelligence, and a speed that shatters any human understanding. To grasp the gravity of this, look at ancient records. The prophet Daniel was considered one of the purest, holiest, and most spiritually elevated men to have ever walked the face of the earth. However, when the imposing angel Gabriel physically manifested to him, Daniel did not break into a welcoming smile. The text reports that he collapsed with his face in the dust, completely panicked, feeling like a corpse, crushed by the gravitational pressure and the majesty of that brutal presence. When the angelic hosts tore through the skies before the shepherds, the very first phrase the angel needed to shout was, "Do not be afraid." The biological and instinctive response of any human being when faced with a superior rank of the order of creation is not comfort. It is pure and simple panic. And why is recovering this truth not merely a theological nicety, but a matter of life and death for your household? Because we have completely forgotten that we are situated at the epicenter of an unrelenting cosmic war. We speak about angels in such an abstract, poetic, and harmless way that we forget they are not floating therapists. They are elite military generals. They are shock warriors deployed by God for specific and hostile missions of patrol and territorial protection. The presence of an angel in an environment is never a passive or contemplative stance. Exorcists detail that these beings do not sit in the corner of the room watching your life fall apart. They act tactically. They apply their unimaginable intellectual power directly upon material things. They can manipulate the atmospheric conditions of the room, violently affect the biology of your mental perceptions, and interact with the physical world to thwart enemy attacks. When you or your family kneel and invoke the protection of St. Michael the Archangel, you are not reciting a lucky poem to feel better. You are performing a warlike act of immense gravity. You are calling upon the supreme leader, the commander-in-chief of the heavenly armies, the very entity that defeated and cast the pride of Lucifer into the depths of the abyss. It is not a superstitious ritual. It is the invocation of a shield of superior intelligence. Having one or more angels actively anchored in the trenches of your home means having weapons of mass destruction, created by the divine mind, aimed outward, patrolling the invisible borders of your marriage and the minds of your children. They are not in your home to ensure you have an easy day or to spread a pleasant aroma. They are there to crush any force of the abyss that dares to try to wrench your soul from the hands of the Creator. And they will do so with the ferocity of warriors who have never lost a battle since the beginning of time. After discovering the tactical dimension of this immaterial power, can you still see the angels as poetic figures? Or can you finally perceive the military weight and majestic terror they carry with them? What is your real view on this now? Comment below, as I want to know if you have absorbed the force of this revelation.